laws. How easy is it to change a law in New York State? I don't know. But when you're the largest employer and the largest taxpayer in the state of Nevada, we can get laws changed pretty quickly. And we regularly do it.
Hello everyone. Before I get to the topic of this video, I want to start off talking about the economic and financial situation. And as you can see here, their unemployment data, their forecasts, they're always turn out to be worse than expected. This economy is such a fraud. It's such a scam. Wake up, people. Can you remember how the last economic downturn was? And many argue we haven't had a real recovery. It's just unemployment after unemployment. And as you know, the stock markets are starting to go higher in terms of their futures because there's more stimulus. Well, wait until these forbearances, all these programs begin to end, because it has to end sometime. You're going to see the real reality of this. And the real economic situation can be described in this chart right here. The labor force participation rate. We use 16 to 64-year-olds, men, and you can see here it is at near all-time lows. It is not recovering despite the fact that the unemployment rate is going down. And it's much lower than it was even during the financial crisis. So we haven't had a real recovery. It is these statistics that really matter. And by the way, this one can be kind of misleading because we should see the ones that includes folks who were born in the United States. Now, let's take a look. Let's have some more fake optimism. And let's talk about the real topic of this video. The man who's responsible for more harm than any other individual in Las Vegas and perhaps the state of Nevada. Folks, it is the Wall Street buffoons that have taken over the Las Vegas Strip, not to mention the casinos and the unions. And he's talking about, oh, how it's going to be optimistic. Things are going to be well. Of course they're going to say that, because they want you to feel through a guide of false hope that everything is okay, that we know what we're doing. And they're just going to say, oh, yeah, the vaccination is going to really increase. And why do you think they're relaxing casino capacity all of a sudden? What do you think is really going on? What a coincidence. What do you think happened about 2-3 weeks ago? I think you pretty much get the understand picture of what's happening. Then, of course, well, in addition to the fact, what a coincidence that he resigned from his CEO position in February of 2020 and he became the COVID task force. What do you think that was all about? Do you think because he was qualified? This article tells a different story. The profiteers of Murren and Andrew Pascal take online gaming company public. So they can basically make lots and lots of money while they profiting from the shutdowns, and they have far less cost to handle. So you can see here $1.1 billion. They have agreed a $250 million investment. Profiting during these shutdowns is beyond fraud. Make no mistake, folks. And I believe that this guy, from the research I've seen, he sold company stock before the Route 91 shooting and invested it into a fund that was going to jack up after the incident that occurred. He's using the COVID task force to grow the empire, the special purpose acquisition company. And remember, I wouldn't be surprised that pretty soon they'll start buying up other properties, and that includes the Sands properties. So Andrew Pascal using the COVID tracing app that was used to justify the shutdown. By the way, I'll talk about how Murren reflects his views on the recent passing of Sheldon Adelson, which I suspect that these folks are all in it together. Now, you would think that, generally speaking, there would be a mass uprising, that people would demand these people to resign. You would think, why isn't this information spread? These people should be held accountable. Not to mention, you would think that, well, if he hurted the casino industry, he wouldn't be raising enough campaign money because they suffered a lot. Guess again. He raised about $4.5 million from campaign cash from companies benefiting from the shutdowns. Folks, just like the incident that happened in Mandalay Bay about 3.5 years ago, and this one, it's really an inside job. Look at this. Halfway through his disastrous term, he's received $4.5 million in his re-election campaign. The chairman of the Raiders, Commissioner Nath, the guy who voted for the renaming of the airport, Elaine Wynn. This makes you think that who these people are really all tied together. $50,000 came from Marnell Gaming Companies. Speaking of the Raiders, Sisolak slush fund. By the way, in case if you haven't remembered, the county took a lot of their, I believe, rainy day fund to basically benefit the stadium. The really disgusting part is, why don't the people of this state fight back? Now, do you really think things are getting better in the hotel strip properties? Think again. I really don't want to have any huge desire to go visit the strip. Just the quality of people have deteriorated. This is complete, what I like to say, fascism. Police call to multiple resorts. MGM fails to pay their Super Bowl pets. And I can tell you this, that security, police are totally in conflict of interest. It's becoming more like every passing year that they're not there to protect the safety of their visitors, to make sure that things are done properly. They're there to push people around who they don't like. Look at this. Our app is having some problems. They're recruiting police. This is the really sad part. Metro is not working for the people. They're literally, the way I see it, is shills of the casino elites. And you could see here, they're filming. They blocked us after reporting the story. Wow, this is unbelievable. They want to harass them so they cannot cash their winnings. There's going to be a lot of lawsuits about this. It seems like that the casinos have extra power over the police department, just like the home builders. See how they treated me while I was doing a protest? Now look at this. Security is also, instead of stopping the violence, they're trying to block people from filming it, because they know that as a result of these shutdowns, these low-life thugs have taken over the strip. I've done videos about this live, especially during downtown, and look what they do as a result. When they film, they try to block so that the word doesn't get out and they don't lose money. And a lot of people are afraid to go. Folks, this is really, really sad what's happening to security and police, designed to harass people for doing no wrongdoing. And believe it or not, I'll make future videos about this, that I'm a victim because I've had issues with them in the Venetian and the Wynn, and I did nothing wrong. Now, you can probably assume that Las Vegas would not follow in the footsteps of San Francisco and Seattle. Well, guess again. And you would think that a lot of the police and the security want to make sure that the areas are more attractive. But you're seeing that bums are now living in the doorways of Las Vegas Strip casinos. This is not just downtown, but this is actually around the Strip as well. And Metro Police has given up. You can see it's actually affecting public health. Wow, this is really, really disgusting. I thought the homeless ordinance was supposed to do something about it. I guess when people are losing their you-know-what and they have not much to return to, what they basically do is they just sleep around. Unbelievable. It's just like they've taken over the city. We haven't had any visitors to outpace them. And not to mention that folks like Jim Murren, who is the white male, who is really the problem, it's surprising that he funds a lot of these political correct activities. And of course, they do partner with UNLV, and they're behind political correctness and so-called diversity, anti-white. And they're using the pandemic to convince your younger folks that everything is racist. Look at this. While the vast majority of students are unable to identify to be in person in campus and pay more fees, UNLV is trying to busy shift the course away from the yearly shutdown by convincing that everything is racist, folks. Everything is racist. I've done videos about this, and it's disgusting why we are taxpayer funding these institutions. Folks, it's time that people step away from the college industrial complex, be self-taught, try to get licensing on their own, and perhaps even looking to work at home or doing jobs through freelance. Now, let me give you some hopeful economic news. Koch Industries, which I'm not a fan of, obviously they've done a lot of damage to our country and campaign contributions, especially including Republicans in our state. They're buying up the long-stalled Drew Las Vegas resort. So as you know, I've done videos about this. It was actually the second most video that I have on YouTube, where it talks about how the Drew is almost finished. They were supposed to resume work, but they never really resumed because the COVID pandemic interfered with the process. But they're still investors. We have to see that they're teaming up with Fontainebleau to perhaps finish it up. Maybe they want to do something. Who knows what it could be. Folks, I can tell you that given our economic situation, the mass unemployment, the skyrocketing debt, the fragile economy that is dependent on low mortgage rates, it's just very, very uncertain right now. And who knows, maybe they may turn this into apartments. There's just not enough people. Maybe if they do turn into hotels, it will get a lot of traffic away from other parts of the strip, particularly the south end, and it could lead a lot of closures there. We don't know exactly what's going on and what's going to happen. So what do you guys think about this? Do you guys really see a future? Could this be turned into a vertical farm? But somebody, for heaven's sakes, do something about it. It's just such a very, very large eyesore. Thank you guys so much. Please do what you can. Spread these videos. Please subscribe. Get the word out there. Hopefully people will wake up. And I got to tell you, folks, people have to rise up, or you just have to let this system completely collapse or experience some level of friction for things to really change. But it's your job to spread the videos to make sure we get through, because, folks, don't rely on the next election. Don't think that somehow Republicans going to come over and magically change things, because we saw what happened with Brian Sandoval. Sandoval was a huge shill for MGM Resorts and the Culinary Union as well.
In the state of Nevada, we can get laws changed pretty quickly, and we regularly do it.